And welcome back to the channel. Well, yesterday, which was Boxing Day here, I was talking to you about the soldiers, and at the point of trying to remember the name of the gun on this guy, I totally forgot, went out of my head. Anyway, it's a Vickers. Would have been a water-cooled gun, and pretty much there as much as I want to do on that one. And the other guys have different styles of Bren guns. There was a number of different Bren guns. This one's got the barrel type cartridge for your cartridges. And they had a number of models that they used, the British used in the Second World War. Anyway, these guys were pretty much done for now. So, I was talking about this loader, and I started stripping it down, and so I went to my book here to see information on the Yale tractor shovel. This is what I use for references. This is Ramsey's British die-cast, and they haven't really changed too much over the years. This is a 2012 edition, and pretty much I use it for reference, not so much for prices, but because prices in Canada and North America are quite different than prices in the UK, Australia, and stuff like that. So I use it for reference. I use it for giving the dates of when I'm selling my toys online. I want to get as much information as I can, and especially if they're first edition or special colors or things like that. So this one is a 973. Now, Dinky often doubled up on their numbers. There was also a yard crane that was also a 973, which was renumbered from a 752. Not that that's important to anybody. Anyway. Okay, so if you're looking at this model and you're seeing that it's got two colors, it's got yellow and orange, but they're calling it red in the book. It's pretty orange to me. I mean, there's my new one, my newer version of it, and if you look at it, that's pretty orange. Not even red orange, that's orange. Now, they had different types of coloring, so that you can get it all in yellow, which was one of the first editions, and it had a silver bucket on the inside and orange on the outside, and the one yellow on the lifting apparatus and a yellow on the back over the motor cover. Well, actually, two different colors of yellow. And this one had a yellow bucket, which is not uncommon. I went in and looked online to see what was available. There are like 4 in the world right now on eBay, and various prices. Some were yellow and some were the two-tone. So this was made in 1971 to 1975. It was probably shipped out more to the US. It doesn't say that here, but I'm just assuming it because of a lot of these were copies from US makers. So here we have, it can be red, yellow, with yellow or silver bucket, exterior, cast wheels. Yellow, red body, silver wheels, no engine covers, cast hubs. All yellow body, blue wheels, engine covers, cast hubs. So there you have it. Different little bit of subtle differences in these. So this one is a cast hubs on my personal one that goes in my collection. And tires on both of them are the same. This one also has cast hubs, if you see in the front there. Anyway, I'm going to start taking this one apart. My book over here. And let me get my brightness keeps going off on my camera because my computer is old. So I started taking it apart. I took the wheels off, the tires off the rims, and I've taken some of it apart already. So I'm just going to go at it here really. There's two major screws over the engine and cab part, so those come off pretty simple. This lifts up and it's the little tab in the back there, so that pulls forward and then comes off, and then your rear wheels come off. Pretty simple. Now there's a spring in the articulating part that you don't want to lose, and it goes right there, and then this pops off, and then you have the rear tractor part. Now under this little plate right there, that comes out, and you have the interior cab part. That's where the driver would, or operator would sit. It's made of plastic. It's got steering wheel, also in very good condition. And then you have the windows that sit in there. Now there's a little clip on the bottom, so what you got to do is you got to take and just give it a little push in, and get it to come down, and then it pops out. It's not glued in or anything. And of course Dinky marks all their parts, so you can't confuse it. It says Yale Tractor on it, and it's in really good condition. Just has a little bit over paint that can be fixed up. So that's the main tractor body where the engine would be and everything, and that's your casting. It's very good casting. There's no breaks in it. It's got a few dings here and there, but that'll clean up nicely, and then I'll have to make myself some stickers. I'll use my newer model for examples and get them made up. So here's the next part. Now I've taken the tires off, the front ones, and I'm going to have to heat these ones to get those tires off because they're on there pretty good. So I started taking some of it apart, and I didn't take all of it apart because it is a little tricky. So we've taken one pin out here off the top, and taken a pin out here that holds the bucket in place, and I've taken the pin out here so that the shovel part is separated. Now there's a lot of pins and that would be very difficult to get peened. So if you can see in there, get that in focus, it would be hard to get in there to peen some of these parts. So these come off. They just slide off of the cotter pins, and I think I'm going to leave that one in there too. There's not a whole lot of space in there to get that out and to peen it over, so I'm going to tape those up when I paint it and paint the shovel part. And I'm going to use that one as yellow as it was. So I've taken the other interior part that's for the shovel, operates the shovel, and I think the only other part I'm going to take off possibly is this one. It is very tight in there. I may just tape those up and paint them. Now the hydraulics are made of plastic, and you see they're kind of rough. I'm going to see if I can sand them up a little bit and get some of that roughness off of there and clean them up. And I'm going to leave the wheels in there too, because they're pressure fit, and I tried to get them off and I didn't want to break the casting of the wheel casting or the inner casting, so I'm going to leave that. I'm just going to tape them up as well, and I'll tape up the chrome part there. I'll have to brush that up, get it nice and shiny as I can. And so that's basically all of it that's going to be apart. And my next oh, I may have to take those off if I'm going to put this one in the caustic soda to strip it. I'll have to see about that one. I'll try oven cleaner first, and if I don't have to take that pin out, I would prefer, because it is tight in there. And I used a little cutter blade on my Dremel to get in close and try not to damage the sides. I started with a small file, and I found that it was a little tricky to get in there. So that's ready to strip, that's ready to strip, that's ready to strip. That just needs to be brushed up a little bit, and all of the little axle parts and all of the little pins need to be brushed up. And once we get that started and work done, we'll come back. Welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year's, everyone. Well, at last little bit I was taking the shovel apart, and let me just turn the music down a little bit. And I got it all apart and ready to and cleaned up. All the tires come off pretty good. Wash them up, clean them up. And I didn't go too far into the teardown because the pins on some of these moving parts are so small, like there's no room to peen anything. So I'm just going to have to take it easy on when I paint it. That's where the wheels, and that was the the hydraulics on the front. So that's all done, and the cab is all done. Everything come off, paint come off very nice. Base, everything's all polished up, looks good, all shined up, and ready for primer. So the interior was really excellent, and the windows cleaned up pretty good, buffed them up as best I can, and we're looking real good, ready for paint. So the last time I was talking about finishing up these guys, and I kind of roughed them up a little bit and made it look like they're a little more natural, even though I put a new base part on and the gun. And I think I'm just going to leave him the way he is. And these guys too, I just had the gloss paint kind of stuck out, so I kind of roughed it up just a little bit with my wire brush, just to get them back in their kind of their condition. Now those will probably stay on my shelf. I don't think I will try to sell them, because other than this one, who is not damaged, the refurbished ones really lose any value, especially this one with the gun and everything. And I don't sell anything without telling what's been done to it, or if I know if it's been done or whatever. Anyway, so that part is done. Finito. For my shelf. I have a few soldiers on my shelf anyway. So this is all ready for primer. I'm going to use white primer on it, and that's probably what you'll see next when we come back. Welcome back to the channel. Let me see if we get my camera in the right position here. It's been moved around a little bit. There we go. So when I left you last, we were looking at this all apart and about to put it back together now. I've run through it myself once to make sure I got everything right, because I'm using the other one as a guide. And if you notice, I went all yellow. I was debating over the colors because I'm not really fond of that particular orange. And of course, this one, the way that Dinky had decided to do it, was two different colors of yellow, which can happen because they would have done these separately, and this part would have been a separate part, so they didn't necessarily color match on some of their items. And it did come in solid yellow, so I decided we'll leave it solid yellow. So I'm going to put it back together. So first of all, I'm going to put in the glass. And if you remember, when the glass popped out, there's little clips here on the side, and they just kind of spring loaded, so that you'll hear it snap right in there. And then the interior goes in. See if I can get this in there straight. Okay, there's the interior. Is in. Then this little plate right here goes on top. It keeps everything in place. There's only one way it can go, in there. And then the articulating part pops in the hole right there. You can see all that. Try to get my hands out of the way here. Then remember, there's a spring there. See that? That goes in the hole right there where the base goes on, and that helps the articulating part have some tension. Oops. Now there's a little tab in the back, a little tab right there, fits in the hole, and the spring pop it. Hang on. There we go. Okay, just put the tab in there. Tip the articulating part up. And there are two screws. Pretty simple. Get one started and give the other some tension. Get the other one started. Hope my hand's not in the way. And don't over tighten it, just tighten it till it gets snug. Get in there. There. Now it's a little stiff because of the paint. Did I forget something? You're darn right I did. Forgot to put the rear wheels in. Getting ahead of myself here. Let's try this again. Okay. Get the spring back up. Plate back up. Okay, let's try this again. Let's try this again. Also, make sure the chevrons on the tires are going in the right direction. So they should be going forward, and these are not going forward. That's going backwards. So when I flip that over, it's to be going forward. So I've got these ones wrong. because when I flip it over, I was working with it upside down, so I warmed these up and they got stiff pretty fast. There. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over. It's going to be going in the right direction. Okay, so the paint is causing me just a little bit of tension, so I'm going to put a little dab of oil just on there. And then put that in. Just a dab of oil in where the spring goes. Let's try this base again. Right. See, we're not all perfect. Get it right all the time. So those of you who struggle, if you're a perfectionist, don't worry about it. Just do her. Get it done as best you can. And it'll all work out. Okay. So that one's in. That one's in. And we'll have a little bit of, once we get paint worked up and everything, that will be fine. So there. That's that part. Now next, next we're going to put the shovel in place and get the right pin in there. Pin number 1, and then these here go up to that part. And that's in place. Then we want the shovel mechanism to come up into place. So, get that pin in place here. Now you notice I didn't take all of the pins out because some of them were really tight to fit the parts to. So this one goes in here. Goes through the hydraulics. And then we have the last pin that goes on the bucket. And there. That's working. That's working. It's all working. You can see that. It's all working. And there it is. Together, the Yale. And you see that I had the chevrons going in the right direction now, since I had them backwards because I was working upside down. So that's what gives you traction. Now I've been fortunate enough in my life. I've operated lots of equipment, and I've operated John Deere loaders, 644, and Michigan loaders, and Huff loaders, and they're lots of fun to operate and be able to use. Now I don't have the decals made because my printer is the black is coming out kind of blotchy, so it needs a bit of a cleaning. So until I do that, I won't have a nice printed decal done. So I'm going to have to do that later on. Anyway, there you have the Yale motor, all repainted, back together. And I left the bucket because it did show it in the pictures. It showed in my book, it shows them painted and unpainted, and I liked it unpainted and left that as there. And they're all finito, done. And doesn't look too bad against the other one. And I think maybe you'll agree with me that the solid yellow looks a little nicer than 3 different colors on there. So anyway, that's that done. And put that up on my shelf here. And what I'm up to next is I have all the antar and the tank, which is on another video. That's ready for the paint. It's all stripped, ready to get painted, and that's going to be part of the next video, which I already started one using those. So there you have it. Till next time. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all my subscribers and new subscribers. I haven't reached 50 yet. I'm slowly gaining, and I've been a little slow at the videos. One was my work, and I had a little issue. I had to end up in the hospital a week ago. It'll be 2 weeks this coming Saturday. Today is Thursday, so 2 weeks this coming Saturday. I had a little issue with my heart and was in the hospital for a few days, and they get that straightened out. And so I'm home off work now. Because of my commercial license, anything that has to do with my heart puts me out of work for 3 months. So, and we're preparing to move to another province in the spring, and that's going to be a part of what we're doing right now. Getting stuff packed up as soon as I feel better, that I can start actually doing more stuff around the house. They kind of messed up my arm because when they do issue on your heart, they go in through my wrist and up into my heart with what's called a stent to fix what was needed repair. And that's not the first time that I've had that done. So I have to take it easy for a little while, and I'll get down here as much as I can and catch up on some of my videos. So thanks for watching. Thanks for any comments. I appreciate comments, whether negative or good, or give me a thumbs up at least. Helps me know that there are people out there, appreciating what I'm doing. And there was nobody else doing that I could find that did one of these before, so this was brand new and came out pretty good. So until we meet again, thanks from Pops Reclamation Station. Thank you. This is Pop saying see you later.